When we're living in self-doubt and feeling unworthy, not recognizing the value that we just inherently are just by being alive, it creates a lot of distress, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety in our body. And very often we're looking at the symptoms like anxiety, and we go to someone like myself. I have a background as a psychotherapist for the last 17 years. And people come in and they are distressed. They're not living up to the expectations of often the society, the parents, the employers, whoever it might be. And so they're feeling like they're not enough. And like all they are is this anxious person. And it just touches my heart to listen to people's stories about their life that they've lived up till that point. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this, about like, where does this come from? Our beliefs about self and feelings of unworthiness, believing that we're not enough. And probably won't be surprising, it goes back to childhood. We start forming our opinions about ourselves and the world before we're even conscious that we're doing that. And so from the age of like 0 to 7, we're taking in our environment and we're having, perceptions. We're responding to the adults. And we all want to feel like we're enough because we want the love. We want the support. We want to be accepted. We don't want to be rejected or abandoned. And it's very, very deep, like it's unconscious. It's kind of, hardwired in. But then we get into late teens and adulthood, and we're still carrying on these beliefs. So for so many people that I see, their life is a certain way, and they have an idea of how they would like it to be. And very often we're focusing on things that aren't very helpful. So when we have feelings of unworthiness, how does that affect our life? We are afraid to be authentic. We are afraid we're going to be judged or criticized if we really show who we really are. And it certainly often depends on the context and the relationship, whether we're at work, whatever it might be. Perfectly reasonable, right? And so what I'm saying is there's not a right or wrong to this. There's how are we feeling in our day-to-day life? Do we wake up feeling joyful, happy, content, like anything like that? Or do we wake up stressed, anxious, dreading the day, living on automatic pilot? Obviously, that second description is not a joyful life. We're not enjoying our life when we're just trying to keep our head above water. It often people describe it as an experience of like a level of like even suffering, because then we can have emotional pain. Sometimes we're also in physical pain. And from the energy of wanting to fix it as though we're broken or there's something wrong with us, I have found in all the years of my work as a psychotherapist and now as a coach, blending, focus on mental health and well-being, body and spirit, soul, that a lot of the pieces of the picture, the puzzle, were missing. And I noticed my healing, my expansion of into a more confident, worthy. I now realize, and I bring this into my sessions with my lovely clients, that there are parts of me that believe I'm unworthy, but not all of me. But it felt like that because that's who I felt I was. That was me. That was myself. And when you learn that, there is a higher self, there's a core self-essence that is us, but we are not feeling it. It's not even about necessarily getting connected to it because it's inherently there. But when we do access our essence, then we can be with other parts that have the doubts, that have the fears. And even the physical body is, of course, a huge part of us. It's not who we are. It's a part of our experience as a human. But it can become our identity. It's like, well, I am this person. Like, I'm an anxious person. That's connecting like identity with anxiety. And the reframe on it is, I am a human who experiences the sensations of anxiety in my body. And I see our mind attaches all this meaning. And there's all this judgment of ourself, mindful judgment from others, but ultimately we're really judging ourselves. Like, why haven't I figured this out by now? I'll never be better, right? We feel hopeless, all of those things. And the way to shift all of this is to get more deeply connected with what we're feeling in our body. Everyone's at a different place with that because it can be very overwhelming. So I think it's really helpful to have some tools and some guidance to help people do that. So that's one of the intentions in my channel here, is to offer some of these tools and resources. But I also, we need to take care of ourselves. And sometimes it's something we really don't feel like we could do alone. If it's so overwhelming to even go inward at all, that's when it's really helpful to work one-on-one with someone. Whether it's a therapist or a coach, that's blending and just depends on what you're needing, because therapy and coaching is different. In this platform, I am combining my background as a therapist. I'm not doing therapy, but I bring my wisdom into my work as a coach. Mind, body, spirit now is where, what I honor for all humans. And so if we want to have more harmony and peace and all of those things in our life, we have to go inward. And that's the very thing, whether we know it or not, that we're avoiding. I have so many clients say, I can't get quiet. They might go into panic. The mind starts racing. The body, the nervous system, basically we're trying to help the nervous system get re-regulated. And it's challenging when we're on living in our head, an automatic pilot, doing all the things without even really consciously choosing. We choose everything we do throughout our day, but I love to bring in the option from awareness. So if I'm aware, I have this pattern running, and if I go just on automatic pilot and I don't even pause to consider I could make a different choice, I'm probably not going to have the changes that I'd like to see. So it's like an embodied practice, learning some tools and resources to get in your body, help connect right in with where you're at, what your nervous system is, where the regulated point is, and can be baby steps, which is just fine. We're so in a rush to get from here to there, right? We want to feel better, and it's so understandable. And I have all the compassion and love in the world for everyone who is struggling, because I still have my days. I practice everything I teach, everything I share. I like to share snippets of my stories too, because it really inspired me over the years where I was struggling and just feeling like I wasn't enough, even though I'd accomplished some things that would, from some perspectives, be like, what do you have to be whining about? Why are you sad, right? What's wrong that you're not happy? And that is what brought me to the expansion into my spiritual beliefs, the meaning of why I'm here. And a lot of the teachings from YouTube really facilitated and supported my process. So I love to show up and share. Please feel free to share any questions or comments, and keep following. I'll have lots more videos, tools, and resources to come. Thanks so much.